Next thing about layers we're going to talk about is called a layer mask. Now I've deleted the ducks and the duck group. I want to go back over here to this original duck and bring him back. So I'm going to grab my move tool and drag him back over. Here he is. Now before we want to get rid of that white background, and I told you we just grabbed our magic wand and we clicked on the white and we deleted it. And it works and it's fine. But there's something I want you guys to know and to remember this. It's a good idea in Photoshop when you can to, rather than deleting something, to hide it instead. Because once you delete something, it's gone, unless you resurrect it somehow underneath history or whatever. But once you delete it, it's gone. If you hide it, if you have the option of hiding it, you can always reveal it again. If you hide it, it's still there. If you delete it, it's gone. So it's just a good way to think about it in Photoshop. So let's see if we can hide those white pixels, just in case we ever need them again. In this case, you probably wouldn't need them again, but you never know. So the way I'm going to do it is I need to get the duck selected and everything else not. So I'm just going to click on the white. Now notice this duck is on a new layer, and the white's not going all the way to the edge. Okay, so this area that's showing outside of here is irrelevant. Okay, so I clicked on the white. I'm going to go select and choose inverse. I could do Command-Shift-I, and that selects everything except the white, which is the duck. So while this is blinking, I'm going to click on this button down here. It's called the Add Layer Mask button. Now watch what this does. It obviously got rid of the white, but look over here in the Layers palette. It added this second box next to the duck. And if you look at this carefully, I know it's not zoomed in real well. The duck is shown white. Wherever the duck is, it's white over here. And wherever the white was, the background, is hidden or blocked out, or if you want to use the Photoshop term, masked from us with black. So whenever you choose layer mask, whatever you don't want becomes masked and it's shown to us as black over here. So here's what we can do with this, and this is where it gets interesting. If we have a layer mask and I take a paintbrush, let's say, and if I look down here in my color palette, if I flip this where I'm painting with black on this layer mask, I'm painting with black right across that duck, it looks like I'm erasing the duck. But I'm really not erasing him. I'm hiding him. Now look over here in the layers palette on layer 1 in that little box. Now look at the black that crossed over the duck's head. I'm hiding the duck so I can see the background through him. If I switch these, remember the shortcut command for that was X, brought white to the front. If I paint with white, I can reveal the duck again. And if I go on outside of him, I can reveal the background again if I wanted to. I could paint it all back in with white. So see the layer mask box is white now. So the way it works is if you add a layer mask, if you paint with black, it hides whatever's on a layer. And if you paint with white, it brings those pixels back. It reveals whatever's back on that layer. It unmasks them. And we can use this for all kinds of things. Let me show you how. I'm going to delete this layer mask by clicking on that box and dragging it to this trash can. Went to delete it. Back to just my original duck. And let's get this duck. I'm going to take the background off here just by deleting it. Here's our duck. There's other things we can do with a layer mask. I'm going to add a layer mask. Nothing's blinking this time. I'm just going to add a layer mask from scratch. There it is. I'm telling Photoshop that I want the ability to hide and reveal things on this layer. That's why I want you to remember that. You're telling Photoshop that you want to have the ability to hide or reveal things on this layer. And it works with paintbrushes. Again, black will hide things on the layer. White will reveal things on the layer. So I can make it look like clouds are passing in front of the duck this way. I'm good about it. Smaller brush sizes. Okay. Which is nice, and there's other ways to do that, but that's kind of a good way to do that. And if I don't like it, I can switch it back to white and just bring the duck back, reveal him back in. I don't have to use this type of paintbrush. I can use a gradient tool, gradient brush. The gradient tool is just a brush, just like anything else. Look at the control panel for the gradient up here. There's some defaults in Photoshop, and students get confused with defaults and what defaults mean, but just remember certain things are always good, like numbers like 100%, words like normal. Things that are in the far left-hand corners of things are usually defaults. There's not an easy way to really remember that, but if I use a gradation on a layer mask, I can make an object fade out by clicking, dragging, and letting go. And if you look at the layer mask over here, you can see what it's doing. As it gets wider, it's showing me my duck, and as it went blacker on the layer mask, it's hiding the duck or masking him. Shades of gray become transparencies. And you can do it over and over again till you get it the way you like it. And again, if you don't like it, you just select the whole layer and fill the whole thing with white, and that brings the whole duck back. At this point, you can take a paintbrush, paint with white, and bring the duck back. Doesn't really matter. As long as you can remember that you're hiding with black and revealing with white, you're going to be on the way to understanding how layer masks work, and you'll have a lot more control in Photoshop.